Been listening to Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he reminded me again that in every moment, in this moment within you and I, we are carrying the most powerful force in the universe. We actually have a song called The Same Power that we sing here. We have the same power that rose Jesus from the grave within us. It's not something that's far away. It's not in heaven. It's not in ancient temples or reserved for a chosen few. It's right here, beating in our hearts, flowing through our breath, alive in every cell of our being. That same power that commands the dead to wake. Most people spend their entire lives searching for God in all the wrong places. They look up into the sky hoping for a sign. But that same power that moves mountains when it speaks is in us. They go to temples and churches thinking they will find God there. But that power can calm a raging sea is in us. They read countless books and listen to sermons believing someone else holds the key to their spiritual connection. But God isn't somewhere else. God is the energy inside of you. This is the fundamental truth of our existence. We are not separate from the divine. We are disconnected in our minds from the source of all creation, but we are that source expressing itself as us. And I think that's one of the reasons why Kenneth knows the songs to sing. Somehow he's connected to me when I do my talks, and he switches. I don't know when he thought about that, or maybe that was me connected to him to change it. It doesn't matter. But the point is, that's that connection. It's there all the time. Every thought you think, every breath you take, every beat of your heart is the universe experience itself through your unique perspective. You are not separate from the creative source. You are it. And if you're thinking, if so, why do I feel so alone? Or why do I feel so disconnected? Or why do I feel so afraid? Or whatever it is that you're feeling other than connected. And that's a fair question. The answer is simple and profound. You and we and I have forgotten who we are. We have been taught to look outside ourselves for validation and for answers. From the moment we are born, we are told who we are supposed to be. Those adults forgot to tell us about the infinite wisdom that already lives within us. Well, thank goodness you walked up those stairs today to be reminded of who you are, who we are, and to remember our greatness. At Unity, we have several tools to help us to remember. The first is the 5 principles. The first principle is there's only one presence and one power, active as the universe and in my life. That's God. The second one is our essence is of God, therefore we are inherently good. The third is we are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. And the fourth is through prayer and meditation, we are align our heart with God. And then the fifth, through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth that we know. And then we have Charles Fillmore, who came up with the 12 powers of God in man, which is a series on spiritual empowerment, which we're going through with me every time I get to speak. The acronym that we're using is faith, will, power, us. So we've got faith, will, imagination, love, life, power, order, wisdom. Today we're doing enthusiasm and release. And next time I talk, we're going to be doing understanding and strength. These are the 12 powers that articulated the abilities, the faculties in us that God has given us. So you and I can shine our light and be all the things that we were promised to be. These are the parts of God or love or the divine, whatever you want to call it, that we need to remember and to call forth, to live from and to be amazing expressions of God that we were meant to be. So we're talking about enthusiasm and release, but we're going to talk about release first. We're going to let it go first so that we make room for all of the great stuff. In Genesis 19, there's a story about 2 cities called Sodom and Gomorrah. God told Abraham these cities are to be destroyed for their grave sins, lots of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. The sins were where the prodigal son went and spent all his money. Early one morning, 2 angels went to Lot. First, wouldn't that get your attention, like 2 angels coming to you? Like, yeah. So they were sitting there, waiting for him to wake up. They said to Lot, "Arise, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, lest you be consumed in the punishment of the city." He was being told by the still small voice inside of him 2 times to take off, to take this love in his life and to go. Lot did not go. He lingered. Some very caring friends came and did an intervention. They grabbed him and his family and threw him and his family out of the city. They said, "Flee for your life. Do not look back or stop anywhere." What did they say? Do not look back, right? Don't look back. Don't stop. Flee for the hills. In other words, lift your consciousness, lest you will be consumed. So the family left, they took off, but Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Fairly extreme example, I would say, but what she did was she chose her lot in life. She was stuck in her ways. She couldn't go forward. She had to look back. She turned. Because of this, she was crystallized. She was only focusing on what had been or what could have been in her mind. She represents that part of us that is not quite ready to move forward in our journey. Not quite ready to let go of the old way of thinking. And it's not wrong, it's not right, but it does have certain results. This could have been the perfect time to move forward using the faculty that God gave her, called the power of release. We can use this gift that we have been given so that through all the things we come up against in this life, we can come back and come back and come back to the kingdom. Put God first in our lives. The story of Lot's life is what happens when we do not listen to the inner guidance that comes to us. Whether it comes through angels or telephone calls or emails or friends, family, nature, however it comes to us, we have that inner guidance coming all the time. I didn't get mine till this morning. But instead, we are caught in this space of lamenting about what has been, wishing for a better path, pining away, getting or staying attached to what has been. So we're not present, and we must be present to hear the guidance. We must be present to be in the kingdom. The kingdom of God is within us. It is here at hand. The revealing word says release or renunciation is letting go of old thoughts, so new thoughts may find a place in their consciousness. That is what Lot was being asked to do, to flee to the hills, move through the valley of the shadow of death. Don't stop, don't buy land, don't put up a tent, keep going, just keep going, because you're going home. Climb up into your consciousness, going up into the hills, rise above it all. That is what Jesus did every time he prayed. He would rise up. There's a phrase, let go and let God, that we are all familiar with. And it's great when we do it willingly. It's easy. Sometimes when it's not easy, we have a friend that comes along and helps us. But remember, we're all here to change and to grow and to heal. Sometimes when it's not, we're made for this. We're born again and again and again. In any place where there's fear, be born again into love. Where there is hatred, be born again into peace. Where there is any injustice, bring justice to that moment. Anybody here want to stay stuck? Raise your hand. No, that's what I thought. Just know that we are here to move forward. The center of release is in the bowels, and it's brown and russet. So it's funny because, I'm talking about release and letting things go. And I tend to go through my stuff a lot and release it. Well, when I decided to do this talk, I said I'm going to wear orange, which is for enthusiasm, and brown. And I had these brown pants that I loved. I keep clothes for so long that they go out of style and then they come back into style. So I must have had these pants for 30 years. I don't know. But I was like, oh, so excited that I was going to get to wear these pants because I've been moving them from my summer clothes to my winter clothes for years and not using them. Guess what I got rid of in the spring? Oh, I was so upset. I'm like, I cannot believe I got rid of those brown pants. It was unbelievable. So anyway, so I got these brown pants. And I think these are out of style now. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Thaddeus is the disciple that represents this power. He is known for the scripture written by Jude. And it's a short epistle or letter before Revelations. The old world must fall away before we step into the new world, the New Testament of our own lives. Our new thoughts, let them supersede anything that has been less than a Christ or highest consciousness thought in your life. Thaddeus, in Jude, is credited for being an author of instruction for us to sort out and release whatever is no longer needed in our lives. Let it go because you are about to step into a whole new world. In this scripture written by Jude or Thaddeus, we are warned against false values, against holding up things in our lives that we may or may not be accountable for. It calls us to be responsible. It reminds us not to be troublemakers in our own lives or in the lives of others. The first step is always to seek the kingdom. Connect with God, even if it's just taking one breath. Then the power of release will use denials and affirmations. After connecting with God, we deny the power anything has over us, and then we affirm the truth. This takes courage and honesty with ourselves about what we are creating in our lives and the impact that we have on other people's lives also. We're here, we think there isn't a way. Well, there's always a way. In the book, More Power to You, Charles Roth says, clear out the garbage of unforgiveness of yourself and others that is expressing as unpleasant conditions in your life. You can do it with this affirmation. From the bottom of my heart and soul, I forgive myself and persons or conditions that I pronounced guilty of wrongdoing. This power that Thaddeus represents, Thaddeus, the Thaddeus within you and I, works best when we do it immediately. It keeps things clean and fresh. Sometimes it can be deep and difficult, but do it anyway. Then I realized I got rid of something else that I never wanted to get rid of, which is the book, The Little Soul in the Sun by Neil Donald Walsh. I wanted to go back and just make sure I had it right. I must have given it to somebody. So anyway, this is what I remember of it. And I know it's the core of the story, but the little soul wanted to experience forgiveness. So God needed to explain that meant that someone would have to lower their vibration of love to hurt you. They needed a volunteer who would be willing to do this. And in the book, they've got all these little lights, like they're children that are represented by these little lights, like little candle lights. So this little girl stepped up, and she said, I will do something, but you need to forgive me quickly, because if you don't, I will be left in the darkness for too long. So the little boy agreed. And my point in that part of the story is the quicker that we forgive other people, the better it is for us too. Actually, it's mostly for us. It raises our vibration, brings us back into the light. Choosing forgiveness doesn't mean something didn't happen or it didn't hurt. It isn't Pollyanna or feel-good thing, although it does make you feel good, but it means that you have the inner capacity to let go of anything that is not expressing the highest aspect of you, the highest aspect with the God of your being. So first go to the kingdom, let go of the negative, accentuate the positive, and don't hang out in the middle. Now we're going to go to enthusiasm. Enthusiasm comes from the Greek word entheos, which means divine inspiration or to be full of God. Our power of enthusiasm or zeal is represented by the color orange. It is the most excitable power. It moves energy, as Raisa explained in the beginning. Years ago, there used to be joy songs at Unity. And I'm not going to sing it. I'm just going to give you the words to the song. And the song goes, I am alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Let's say it. I am alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Faster. I am alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. One more time. I am alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Do you feel any different? Any energy rise up? A little bit. I bet you if you said it or you started singing it, it'd be better, but we won't be going there. The revealing word says enthusiasm is ardent zeal, the inward fire of the soul that urges man forward, to feel like you are on fire with God. Simon the Zealot is the disciple associated with this power. He learned all the principles, the unity principles, and he began to live from them, as well as the powers. As we use these powers with the 5 principles, our life changes. Once we know the principles and practice these principles, we can take action with enthusiasm. When we are run by material things, money and worldly power, that is the fire, the kind of fire that depletes us. It can consume us. The power of enthusiasm I'm talking about is an inner fire, to be on fire with God. The kind of fire that Moses saw in the burning bush. The bush was never consumed. It was just on fire because that was the fire of God. The kind of fire that is enormous and inexplicable. It is mysterious. The way God works in our lives, it does not consume us. In fact, we thrive in the presence of it. It's located at the base of the head, the medulla oblongata, and it's commonly referred to as the mouth of God. So whatever you are holding or speaking, move it through this part of your body and move it with enthusiasm. Then it will happen in your life. When enthusiasm is quickened, it radiates energy and courage, and it excites us. Many times when we are stuck or upset, we grab the back of our neck, right? Oh my God, I have a stiff neck. So breathe into that. Reignite your enthusiasm. Because there is a rigidity or hardening of thought or speaking or acting when we're stiff in the neck. In that moment, focus on the back of your neck and relax. Breathe the breath of God. Be filled with holy presence, and everything about you will become supple. Spiritual enthusiasm is contagious. The reason we become joyous is because we've decided that we are going to be enthusiastic and energetic and filled with God. You know the days when you wake up and you don't have that power, right? You wake up feeling, ugh. I know I have a few times. And then there's other days you wake up energized. The power hasn't left you. You have forgotten it. I'm here to tell you, it's calling you to be invigorated. One way to ignite enthusiasm, if you don't want to sing the song, is to just look in the mirror and say the word enthusiasm, enthusiasm, enthusiasm. Raise your voice, raise your energy. It's amazing how it works. We had a teacher once, I don't know if you remember, Gabe, but it was in massage school. And he said, just look in the mirror and say enthusiasm, enthusiasm, enthusiasm. It's amazing. Some people like to go outside themselves to get that fire going. But that's not the kind of fire I'm talking about. Some people get their energy moving by using a relationship, by using drugs, by using sugar or music. Maybe it's by getting angry. They feel alive when they get angry. That's not what I'm talking about. You won't need to do that when you decide to tap into your spiritual enthusiasm for life. That is the gift of you. Remember that fire doesn't burn out, and it's always within you, just like all of the powers are always within us. It's up to us to activate them. If you want to increase any of these powers, visualize whatever color is associated with them, the word that's associated with them, like for enthusiasm in orange, visualize it here. For release and brown, visualize it here, and energize that power. What do I need to get rid of, Spirit? And you will get the answer. And as Raisa also shared earlier, as Charles Fillmore at 95 said, "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do those things that ought to be done by me." What ought to be done by you? Keep going in, seeking the kingdom and asking. Whatever you put gusto behind, enthusiasm into, will return to you multiplied. We are called to celebrate life, and yet sometimes it feels like we have very difficult things to walk through, which we do. That's called life on life's terms. That doesn't mean the enthusiasm has gone away. It just means we have to call upon it. Winston Churchill, being a very dry and yet witty man, said, "Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm." So be alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic. Work like you don't need the money. Love like you've never been hurt. Dance like nobody's watching. And let the world stand back and wonder. This is enthusiasm in its best. So, you're going to let go of the negative. You're going to go to the kingdom, accentuate your heart's desire, and don't hang out in between. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. And until I see you again, know that you are blessed and a blessing.